Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the official LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships podcast. My name is Mike Larkin, and joining me today is the LFC CEO, Mr. Shaun Donnelly. Shaun, it's a pleasure and a privilege as always. How are you?
Hey, Mike. Great to be here. Glad to be back on the show with you.
Of course, man. I look at it from a stance too as well. There's a lot of stuff coming up. We got LFC 36 Booty Camp 4 in the trenches on May 13th. Main evented by Jolene the Valkyrie Hex versus Jenny Bloody Valentine, the champ against the LFC Booty Camp champ. It's going to be an amazing event.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Really excited about that main event. Looked like we weren't going to be able to have Jolene, and then recently we found out we could. So we put her right in the main event. She has two of the belts. You know, her goal is to get three, and Jenny's going to do everything in her power to stop that.
Well, for me, I look at it from a stance too as well. Jolene is dripping in finesse. Don't make no sense, to quote the one and only Mr. Bruno Mars. But my God, man, imagine adding that blingage, that being that booty camp chain to Jolene. You never hear the end of it from Jolene. Well,
you remember at LFC 31, she called me pretty hard and pretty much demanded a chance to win all the shiny stuff. And we've given her that chance, and we don't just give people that chance for yelling at me. She certainly has earned it. Been with the company a long time, very, very accomplished fighter, very popular with the fans. So it just made sense to give her these shots.
I think what's also very cool about it too is, such veterans under the LFC auspices when you talk about Jolene the Valkyrie Hex and Jenny Bloody Valentine. I got to call her main event Jenny, man, because Jenny's been the main event, which we'll get to the last one from the last event in a second here. But Jenny's really been stepping up her game as only as she could do. And now we have a first-time bout between the two. This is the first time, and it's an historic moment for LFC.
Well, and of course, a lot of people didn't know she was in the main event. She filled in for La Scorpia. We decided to do a lucha event in the main event of LFC 35. We had booked La Scorpia and Volcana, and of course these are lucha wrestlers. You don't know who they are, and unbeknownst to anyone, the real La Scorpia couldn't make it, so she passed off her mask to, as it turns out, Jenny Valentine, and Jenny fought in her place. And so there was a little controversy over that because she fought for the pink team when she's a black team member. So Joe, of course, tried to claim that the Booty Camp champ chain belongs to the pink team. Coach Hader, rather, of the black team, said it belongs to his team. I think Holly and myself, and we carefully considered it, and we did side with Leon Hader, and the chain does belong to the black team because La Scorpia didn't win it; Jenny Valentine did.
I'm going to say right now, as someone who was in the middle of all that, first of all, it was great to see Jenny live and in person for the first time. And number two, I will say this, that son of a gun, Mr. Tommy Bell, we're going to talk about this. Mr. Crystal Blue, his persuasion himself, Mr. Tommy James and the Shondells, if you will, Mr. Shaun Donnelly. It was up to that one last vote. You know what I'm saying? There's a little persuasive on the end of Jenny Bloody Valentine and Tommy Bell. He brings the art, he brings the imagery. Tommy Bell was at the deciding vote, man. Was
he the deciding vote? And
yeah.
You think he got it right?
Man, looking at the two of them, I got to say, first and foremost, Volcana, we got to bring her back. You saw it. Remy saw it. I got to ask you, you saw her, man. She was looking at me because I was looking nice, dressed from head to toe, man. I was feeling good about myself. We got to bring her back. Now, besides that fact, she was an amazing athlete, amazing talent, but Jenny, La Scorpia, as she was, held her own, man. I got to say, it was fair and it was decisive. Mind you, the chicanery of the mask and who was behind it, but I got to say, Jenny did her thing tonight.
Yeah, and we would love to bring Volcana back. Now, obviously, it has to be another lucha event. We are in talks with doing an event in Mexico where we might have quite a few lucha matches, and if so, we'll definitely bring Volcana and maybe the real La Scorpia this time.
Hey, either way, I think it's a treat because the real Scorpia is a gem in her own right. But I got to say yes to Volcana. And besides that reason I just mentioned, but Volcana, I've seen her work on the independent scene. And when it comes to that lucha style, I think we incorporated very well with that sex appeal and that high octane aerial assault and just the maneuvers, man. I got to say there is a place for some lucha and lucha lingerie and an LFC as a whole.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was fantastic. I think the audience loved it. And it was a really cool, just kind of introduction to it. It happened on Halloween, that event, as you know, because you were the ring announcer that night. So it made sense to, for the first ever time, allow masks. We've never done it before. and the audience liked it. It's not something we're going to do at at every event or but if we do a show in Mexico, I mean, of course we would do it. Halloween shows, Mexico shows, we'll bring in the lucha lingerie. I thought it was really cool.
1000%. And I will say this, since you did bring it up, since I was the ring announcer. First of all, I can't wait to come back for the May 13th show. And it was a pleasure and a privilege, man, because what's great about being the ring announcer and everything that goes into the production and the show, ring announcer is one of the best parts and one of the most integral parts. Got to hype up the crowd, man. And everybody was excited, like you so eloquently put it. And it was an exhilarating night for LFC action back on Halloween.
Yeah, no, it was great. And we're happy to have you back for LFC 36 and, becoming a bit of a tradition now. And it's fun. It's a great show, and you certainly add to it. And nobody, I always tell everyone, nobody knows more about LFC than Mike Larkin, and I include myself.
I appreciate that. No, and I've always said this about the brand and what I love about it. I always equate it to the LFL, the Lingerie Football League, that sex appeal with that roughness, that toughness, that physicality, if you will. You look at Shannon Knapp's promotion Invicta, you look at just women in mixed martial arts and all athletic and combativeness, the sex appeal, the drive a day. It's a little bit of MMA, a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of clothing. That is the overall antithesis of LFC.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I actually just got contacted by a MMA fighter who wants to join LFC, and her comment was that she's sick of the double standards in MMA. If you're if you're in any way masculine in MMA, you're a man, and if you're feminine at all, you're not taken seriously. So she wants to join LFC where you get past that. We don't care. You're taken seriously because this is what we are.
Again, and that's what's great about it too, is, and I look at it from a stance as well, you have to not have that double standard. I mean, in bodybuilding or what have you, the term, and I'm glad you brought this up, because it's a term I brought on the show with Ariel X when she was on the show back a few episodes back, man. The term is mannish, and I hate that, because you have women with athleticism and the muscles and the overall athleticism, like we mentioned. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? It's women athletes and women showcasing their stuff internally and externally. So the term mannish and all that needs to be ixnayed out the way. Unfortunately, we still have some ignorant-minded people out there.
That's my number one thing I have to censor on our YouTube videos is, those comments of, any woman who has any sort of, muscles at all, it's a half woman or a man, we delete that stuff and, we ban those people because it's just so stupid. I mean, we've had some amazing, muscular, like Feather Haddon, champ, I mean, she's a muscular girl, but she's very feminine, and, it's very disrespectful, and, we just don't need it.
I will say this because I got to bring it up because I thought it was funny. Let me just say right now, and I'm going to use these words. What the fuck? Who was that person? Like we were having a joke about Sassy Boatwright, the motherfucker Sassy Boatwright, on the LFC review. Go check it on the YouTube with Leon and I. Wrestler, amazing talent. I've seen her work. She's very outspoken, very uncensored, has that edge. And somebody thought we were making a joke like, what, about moms and stuff? Like how? Yeah. Oh my God, that was funny.
They wanted your mom fighting.
Oh my God, like they took that out of so much context that I couldn't help but laugh at that.
Yeah, that's what, I don't know if you saw my reply. It was, basically, I don't think you got the joke.
Yeah.
And most people don't want their mom fighting in LFC or any other MMA league because their moms aren't fighters.
Right. Oh my God.
We bring in fighters. We don't bring in, random people's moms. And of course her comment that she will fuck up, her opponent's mom is funny. It's trash talking, and I didn't think it needed to be explained, but apparently to that one poster it did.
I will say this as far as the motherfucker Sassy Boatwright. She is in round 2 against Amber Joe all the way to the UK, the Notorious Angel. She is one of those girls. I love the outspokenness. And what I really love is what really hypes up these great fighters is the nickname. One name I'm going to mention to you. We've never had a muscle MILF ever in the history of LFC. The muscle MILF Susan K is doing her thing. How amazing is that name? Muscles and a MILF showcases the beauty and the sexiness, but with the muscles. I got to say, it's a very unique and a great name.
Yeah, and now I feel bad that I haven't gone to the tremendous trouble that Leon went to with his props. So I do not have a glass of muscle milk. I do not have a banana. I can't remember what other props he brought out, but
he had the Sour Patch for Candy Girl.
He had the Candy Girl, and
That's the thing too. We have so many different names. And okay, well, first and foremost, I'm going to say we've never had a banana. The Susanna banana thing is funny, and that's the thing too. It's supposed to add some humor to it, but it's great. And I look at people like Susanna banana and all these girls that we have coming in. LFC Madness 4 has really taken on a life of its own with so many great people promoting and just really getting into it. Andre Shakti, I got to say, the sign wider has my interest. She's been on the top of the leaderboard. Right under is Natalia Sky and Stacy Sadistic. These are really powerhouses to look out for, Shaun.
Oh, absolutely. There's, I think every LFC Madness we've had, really strong prospects. Well, we have a ton of prospects, and the whole reason LFC Madness was created is, frankly, we have more prospects than we could ever have room for. So we needed a reason, a method for casting, prospects at our booty camp events, and the contest seemed like a good way to do it because it puts the, kind of puts the onus on the prospect. This is in your hands. If you want to, you're gonna have to work for it, but you can put yourself into LFC, and then we'll give you the opportunity. What you do with it is up to you.
Exactly. And I look at it from a stance too as well. And I always say this, even with Leon or here on this show, don't think that you're done with LFC because, we may have you back for future LFC Madness contestants like a second chance, but it's very cool because, hey, man, if we need you, if we're going to get you, we're going to get you on that show and showcase your talents, man. Doesn't mean you're done. It's just right now, we'll see you down the road, which is awesome because it has more gains for more opportunity for the cast, right?
Oh, and there have been. I mean, at this show alone, there's, Angelica Ko was in the original LFC Madness, and can't remember how many rounds she went, two or three, and got, beat out. But she was someone who's been on our radar a long time, and we're still bringing her in. So winning LFC Madness is not the only way in. It's just it's kind of like winning the the Voice or something. Just because you don't win the Voice doesn't mean you can never be a singer. Just
right.
That. Or American Idol, it's just a head start.
I always compared it to, and AJ Kirsch will appreciate this reference. I always kind of compare it to Tough Enough because he was on the season where the girl, Arian Andrew, who would go on to be Cameron in the WWE, first eliminated, signed her, got to do a lot of great things in the WWE. So just because you didn't win Tough Enough doesn't mean you're not going to get that WWE contract.
Yeah. So certainly don't give up, but it's a shortcut. It's if you want to be, for the LFC Madness 4, it's going to wrap up April 30th. 13 days later, they're fighting.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about the Italian knockout because I got to say, first and foremost, Angelica Ko is such a beautiful and amazing person. I'm so happy to see her finally make her debut. Angelica Ko. Now talk about this because I believe she's fighting Lauren the Animal Fogel at the next event. Huge matchup, and what a huge debut for her, right?
Yeah, as of right now, that's who she's fighting. Her matchup might be a little subject to change, just because one of the finalists of LFC Madness 3, also from Italy, as Angelica is, we're still working on whether we can get her here. There's a lot of things that are necessary to bring someone in from another country. If she can't make it, then Angelica will likely fight in her place. Representing, someone's going to represent Italy. We may have two, or it might be Angelica versus, whoever else. As you know, the first two matchups, the first two bouts of LFC 36, were going to be the finalists of LFC Madness 3 and LFC Madness 4. We did have a bit of an incident with one of the finalists of LFC Madness 3, Betty Brickhouse, who we were excited to have, and she won her LFC Madness 3. Unfortunately, when the poster was done, she didn't like the way she was represented in the poster. Our designer had, he photoshops. These are posters; they're supposed to look glamorous, and it's a representation of the brand of the event. And unbeknownst to me, he had photoshopped her, and she's someone she's proud of her size. I believe she's 230 pounds, and I guess I wasn't aware he had photoshopped her. I still haven't actually compared it to the original photo, so I don't know, to what extent he photoshopped it. I saw the poster, signed off on it. It looked great. Everybody loved the poster. Of course, I sent it to Betty thinking she would love it as well. And that is not the reaction we got. She was extremely upset that we had changed her size. And again, I haven't compared the photo, so I don't know to what extent that was done. But of course, if she had simply, let me know what her concerns were, we would have addressed it. We would have, changed it. We didn't have many. She'd only sent us a couple of photos, so we didn't have a lot of options. But she chose instead to be extremely angry and quit the event, which, that's certainly her right. But, she's since been telling people that we're not open to having bigger fighters, which is ridiculous. If you look at, our roster, we have some bigger fighters. We certainly weren't trying to hide Biddy Brickhouse's size. Matter of fact, if you look at, how we've been promoting that matchup, her and Amber Pixie, who's 100 pounds, we have been, kind of promoting it as the biggest mismatch size-wise, weight-wise in MMA history. Matter of fact, I think I even gave her an extra 30 pounds because in my Facebook post, I had put it was 260 pounds versus 100 pounds because Amber Pixie's, 100 pounds, tiny girl. So this idea that we're not open to having bigger fighters, we're happily bringing Betty Brickhouse in. We were promoting her size, and it's starting to seem a little bit like she's just using this kind of as a political thing and trying to further herself by using that, which, again, more power to her if she can do it. But, unfortunately, she won't be taking part in the event.
So I'll speak on my half on this, and I have had nothing but pleasant interactions with her. She's been on the podcast. I look at it from a stance too as well, where I look at, the beauty, strength, and dominance name. I always talk about the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are. I certainly, and for those that know me, I don't judge. I know you don't judge. I look at it from a stance too as well. It's unfortunate, but I mean, we have a lot of great talent with LFC. I look at women like Monica the Flowerbomb Garcia, very curvy, beautiful woman. We have the thickness, if you will, that we saw with Katie Forbes, another one, Jack, but she also has, dare I say that, badonkadonk, a little extra, if you will, the junk in the trunk. Nothing wrong with that. I think the diversity, whether it be skin, color, race, it don't matter to us. I mean, that's what we look at with LFC in any athletic sport. So I think it's unfortunate, but I mean, I wish for nothing but continued success going forward.
Yeah, we have, we have strived to always, be as inclusive as we can as a company, to be as diverse as we can, because I think that makes us stronger. I think it makes for a better show. But that also has included, we cast all shapes and sizes. I think people, when you hear the name Lingerie Fighting Championships, you might have a certain image in your mind. But, that's not the case. I mean, you mentioned, Monica Flowerbomb Garcia, Gypsy Mac, we've had bigger fighters, and they've been an important part of the LFC, and they put on great fights. Monica Garcia's fought, I can't remember how many title fights she had. So we certainly weren't hiding Monica. We weren't hiding Betty. So, it's unfortunate. I wish she had handled it a little more reasonably, but she decided to come out with both guns blazing, and I was taken a little bit by surprise because I had no idea it was even photoshopped. So she's kind of in, we always put the newer fighters at the back of the posters, the more veteran fighters at the front, and so if people see that photo for the black team that was posted, obviously there'll be a new poster coming with with her replacement. But it's unfortunate, but I'm not sure what else we could have done about it.
Right. And I also look at it from a stance too as well. I think when you also look under the LFC banner, and I'll say this right now, I mean, what we have in this current tournament, LFC Madness 4, there's 3 transgender talents that were in it. So, I mean, and anything, if you look at it in sports, it doesn't matter whether it be swimming, what have you. AEW has Nyla Rose. I mean, there's diversity, but the world is changing. We have different ways. There's male, female, non-binary. There's different, preferences. There's different ways to look at yourself as a person, internally and externally speaking. So, I mean, I think everyone at the end of the day, like we talk about that term, beauty is beautiful. And also at the end of the day, it gives more room for people to grow. And it doesn't matter, like we mentioned, sex, shape, size, orientation, what have you. Just come and do your thing, work hard, and, we'll see you doing your thing in the LFC.
Yeah, if you can put on a great show, come put on a great show. That's, that's what we're about. And and our cast, as become, family and become very close friends, which is why we have so many fighters that have been with us such a long time.
Exactly. Accommodation and comfortability, folks, not just in interviewing, but just in life. There's a life lesson for everybody. Accommodation and comfortability. All righty. Let's head into what we have at the last one as well before we get back to this current event. So LFC back Booty Camp 3D, 3 dimensions, beautiful women. I will say this right now. We had a couple debuts on that show. We saw Veronica Valentine make her debut against Bella Inc. I want to talk about Veronica because Veronica's coming off an injury right now. She's still healing. She's still rehabbing. Someone who I really enjoyed the Heart Stomper name. She looked beautiful, much as Bella Inc. always does. What'd you think about Veronica's debut against Bella Inc., man? She was looking to stomp her heart, but Bella Inc. came out with the W in that bout.
I thought Veronica Valentine was awesome and did a great job. I was certainly very sad to hear about her injury because it was a very serious broken leg that she suffered against apparently another LFC fighter in Terry London at another event. And, you hate to see anyone get seriously hurt. It's my biggest fear with LFC is someone getting seriously hurt. And, so far, thankfully we've been fairly lucky. We've had some injuries, but never a broken leg, a fractured foot, unfortunately for Feather Haddon. But I'm happy to hear that she's healing well, and when she's fully healed, we can look at whether there's an opportunity to bring her back.
Right. And I think what's interesting too, as well, with injuries that go into it, man, I will say this. We had so many amazing fighters when it comes to injuries. That's a part of the game with any sport, especially with LFC and a lot of stuff that's happens, whether it be ribs, like you mentioned with Featherhead. But god dang, man, so the T term here is domination. And we're going to talk about domination here because MJ Domino, the Dominator Domino, also made her debut against Lauren the Animal Fogel. My God, the woman's got an edge to her. She's got the tattoos all around her, man. It's very edgy. It's very cool. It's very, as she calls herself, the sweetest, I believe it's like a sweet sadistic sensation, their sadistic sweetheart, if you will. My God, man, the MJ Domino is someone who I'm really I'm really looking at. I like her, man.
Yeah, she was a great addition. With the booty camp, the model for that show, of course, is prospects taking on veterans, and MJ was the prospect, and she drew an extremely tough opponent in Lauren Fogel, who's probably someone who will soon get a title shot of her own. She certainly earned it. She's on, I can't remember, a 7 or 8 winning streak right now. So I think people think it's going to be easy for the veterans to beat up on prospects, but we've seen prospects do very well, and MJ held her own for until Lauren, I think, experience wise, got the better of her, and but no shame in losing to Lauren Fogel. She's a terrific fighter.
At all. And as I'm doing the math in my head, since you said 7 or 8, I believe it is 8, because as soon as she came back, it's just been victory after victory after victory. So yes, that's on point.
She's on fire right now, and certainly someone who's been with us. She might have seniority at this point with LFC. She broke in LFC 19, so her and Terry both have been with us a long time, and both exceptional fighters.
And what's amazing too, what I also loved about this past Booty Camp 3D is it introduced us, like we were just talking about LFC Madness not too long ago here. Man, it introduced us to Bella Madison, Bella Rockefeller, Sheena the Hungarian Hurricane Bathory, and Shay Lynn. We'll talk about Sheena and Shay Lynn first, because my God, man, when you look at the torture rack submission, everybody talks about the one and only Mr. Lex Luger from the WWE and professional wrestling. But that torture rack that she had on the one and only Sinister Shay Lynn, my goodness gracious, what a debut for both of those ladies.
Oh, they were great, right from their entrance. What a way to start the show. They were fantastic. They knew they were starting the show. They brought it. It was a great fight. So with LFC Madness, like I said, the first two, we know who our finalists are, and they've now debuted already. They're coming back already for seconds. We got really lucky. I don't think we could have handpicked 4 better prospects to make that jump from prospect to now veteran. And I'm excited about all of them. It'll be interesting. It's kind of a round robin we've got going. Shay is now going to be fighting Bella Rockefeller, and Bella Madison is fighting Sheena. So our 2 winners are fighting each other. Our 2 losers are fighting each other. It's going to be really interesting. I mean, obviously, someone's no longer going to be undefeated, and someone's no longer going to be winless.
And you got the runner-ups taking on the runner-ups, and you got the winners taking on the winners. For me, man, it was interesting because, and I love them both. I love all 4 of these ladies. But man, as I'm sitting there ring announcing, the winner is one and only Bella Madison, right? Bella Rockefeller. Well, first, before we even get to the outcome, we got to talk about that entrance. It reminded me very much, and I'm going to put a pop culture reference in people's head. Reminded me of Madonna, Human Nature. Have you ever seen that video from Madonna? Okay. What did you think about that dominatrix type of entrance there, man? And first of all, they did their own songs, both Bella Madison and Bella Rockefeller. Loved it.
Yeah, and I can't give something away, but there's going to be some more surprises like that at LFC 36. But yeah, Bella Rockefeller, had this idea to do her own entrance song, and of course that was, we're all for that. It was exciting. To Bella, now, of course, no longer to Bella Madison. It's now just Bella Madison, to keep, so that we have a ton of Bellas. She did her own song. It was great. They both did, exceptionally exciting entrances. They were the semi-main event, and both of them just absolutely great additions to the company, and excited to see them develop further, moving on.
Right. And I think what's also great about it too is they both had a lot of fluidity and Christmas in it. I think when I spoke with Remy not too long on the show, he said Sheena could be in wrestling tomorrow because this is someone who's grasped it so fast, and not just her size and her stature. She takes, she's so seriously, power lifter, jujitsu. She has that background, and she is someone, I'm going to say right now, she is one of the ladies not to be messed with. And she's just on the cup up right now, being undefeated and all.
Oh yeah, Sheena's she's an athlete. She's a great athlete, who would do, and I think she could pick up just about any sport and be good at it. Luckily for us, she's picked MMA, and she was very impressive in her debut. And I expect Bella Madison's going to have to be ready, because Sheena's not to be toyed with.
Right. And I mean, I cannot wait to see it. I know Bella has wanted this, Miss Bella Madison. So it's a treat for all the LFC fans that will be in attendance at the FSW arena. So another debut I have to mention is Jordan.
They asked for each other. They wanted to fight each other. That wasn't the original idea. Because it's always prospects versus veterans. We weren't going to put two veterans together, two LFC Madness finalists together like that. But they wanted to fight each other. I don't know if something happened in Vegas last time, but if someone wants to fight someone and that person's open to it, we'll do our best to accommodate. To the point even of Bella Rockefeller, she wanted to fight Shay as soon as she heard those two were fighting. She wanted to fight Shay, but they're both on the blue team, so we had to at least temporarily trade Bella Rockefeller over to the pink team, which she's not 100% happy with. I don't know if it's something with Joe, or just maybe doesn't like the color pink, but she had to go to the pink team in order to fight Shay. So again, it was two people who wanted to fight each other, and it just made sense. Kind of opened the door to doing this Madness, sort of tying in all the Madness finalists into one event.
Makes sense. And I mean, well, first of all, and I love hate Joel in a way, and I kid when I say that, and I'm sure he'll listen to this, but when it comes to Joel, you know what you're getting with Joel. He's a character, but he has some winning methods and winning strategies, so I can't fault him for it. But yeah, being on the team with Joel and having Bella Rockefeller over on the pink team, it's going to be interesting to see that overall dynamic between the two.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an exciting fight, and both I think will be great fights.
Agreed wholeheartedly. And one of the fights I have to mention as well, because we also saw another debut at LFC Booty Camp 3D, Jordan the Hammer Hamner. I say that 5 times fast. I got to tell you, I'm introducing that name, and the Hammer Hamner. You take off the N on one of them, the Hammer Hamner. My goodness gracious. Took on Terry Feisty Fist London. It was great to see Terry back. And what'd you think about Jordan the Hammer Hamner and her debut?
Another great addition to LFC. Ever since Jolene went from redhead to blonde, we kind of lost our redhead. So we have one now, and absolutely stunningly beautiful woman. Her entrance was incredible, and she can fight. She gave Terry, she pushed Terry pretty hard, and Terry was able to come up with the win. But I expect to see a lot more of JoJo.
I cannot wait to see some more JoJo. I'm not talking about the singer that sings Leave, Get Out. Right now, that's the end of You and Me. For those who ever go back to junior high back in 2005, my goodness, and put on some Robin Williams RV, I digress. It's one of those things where you have the JoJo name, which I love, and I think it encompasses her, the Hammer Hamner. She really laid the hammer down and really showcased her stuff with Terry, though.
Yeah, and I asked her, you sure you want to go with that nickname? Because, of course,
Feather.
When LSC fans hear the Hammer, they think of only one person. That's Feather, the Hammer Haddon, the longest serving champ we've ever had. But her name's Hamner. She's, I guess, already known with that name. So, I thought she represented it well. Luckily Feather didn't show up and, fight her over that name, because I think even with her, her health problems, Feather you still wouldn't vote against. But JoJo was a great addition for us, and, look forward to seeing what else she can do.
Agreed. And another vet I have to mention as well, because she did very well. And she's another participant that was in the original LFC Madness. Man, Lauren the Adventuress Ceccarelli and Veronica Payne. What a back and forth bout. It was great to see Veronica Payne back. And Ceccarelli, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Ceccarelli did her thing.
Yeah, she was, another one, a great, she wasn't a finalist in the LFC Madness, Madness 2, I believe she came from. but she had done well, and we had more spots open for prospects, so she was someone we were wanting to bring in for a while. So we brought her in, and she did very well, and joined a very small group of fighters to win in their debut against a veteran. Now, maybe she lucked out a bit in that the veteran she was fighting had, herself just debuted at the booty camp event before. So it's not like she was having to fight, Jolene or Lauren, a real tough matchup. But you can only beat who they put in front of you, and we put Payne in front of her, and she won in a decision.
And I think what I loved about it too as well, because that fight could have gone either way. I was watching both of them do their thing. There was a backstabber, which I popped for because I was like, my God, this woman's going hard in the paint. But I look at it from a stance too as well. That's what you got. It was a win for everybody that night with LFC. And it's going to be a win going into LFC 36. One of the things I also got to take away from this, and I'm going to tell you, man, I'm a little pissed off. And I saw you over there because I know you yourself got a sweet tooth, Mr. Shaun Donnelly. Man, that cake went right into Leon Hader's face. Bella Rockefeller coming out just like Marilyn Monroe. Audrey comes into the ring, boom, got a cake right in his face on his birthday.
Yeah, that was, I'm the one who went and bought that cake, and it sat in my fridge, and I wanted to try that cake. Didn't know that cake would end up on the mat and in Coach Hader's face. In hindsight, I probably, when Audrey asked to be the one to bring it out, I should have sent up some alarms for me. But we were busy at these events, so someone willing to bring the cake in, great. Next time I'll be a little more careful who brings the cake in if we have such a thing again, because it led to a bit of a delay. It was a small cake, but it made a hell of a mess.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I got the grill stare by the one and only Holly the Lotus May, our LFC president. My God, she was not happy having to clean that up with everybody, so I tried to get out of the way, you know what I'm saying? But I was also peeved at myself because I wanted some of that cake. That cake looked really, really good. I'm not gonna lie, it was delicious.
I hope Leon at least got a taste of it.
Right? Oh, man. But that also brings me on the topic of Audrey, because Audrey's now the coach of the blue team. Audrey, an amazing fighter, amazing personality, and entertainer that only the Mongoose is. Audrey's doing her thing as the blue team coach. I got to say, that punishment is kind of a reward for her because she's really using it to her advantage.
Yeah, she's, her win-loss record is not sensational yet. But she's doing a good job. The fighters seem to really relate to her. I'm a big Audrey fan. She does cross the line sometimes, and Holly has been, I think, fairly lenient with her compared to how she's treated maybe Leon and would like to treat Joe if she had the opportunity. But no, she's been a great addition. She's a great fighter, and we're certainly not ruling out her fighting, still fighting, because I think she's still got a lot to offer there. But right now, she's really embraced the role as a coach, and we're going to let her keep running with that for the foreseeable future.
Right on. And I also look at it from a stance too as well. She's going into this with a bit of chip on her shoulder, man. She's got Shaylin on the blue team and black team and pink team all look stacked. And I will say this as well, who I'm very happy to see back, because she did her thing in Sturgis and she's become one of the fan favorites, as many are. Tomiko the Temptress Tajima is coming back for LFC 36. I can't wait to see Tomiko live in action.
Yeah, she's been away for a while, and she had become. She debuted at the first booty camp event, and did a great job. Her and Bella Inc. were the two that debuted that night that have become mainstays. Unfortunately, we didn't have her for Sturgis because she had previous engagement at that time. So this is her first time back in over a year, and really excited to get Tomiko back. And I'm a big fan of hers.
Same. And can you let us know who her opponent will be going into LFC 36 as of right now?
Tomiko, who is Tomiko fighting here? Tomiko's fighting, actually, a fighter we're excited to bring in, Carmen Valentina. So that should be an exciting fight. It's a good, I like that Tomiko's coming back after being away so long, against her prospect. For Carmen, maybe she can take advantage of some rust with Tomiko. So it might be a closer fight than people think.
And with Tomiko, man, she made her debut going back to like an LFC, the first booty camp when she was going. Yeah, friggin' against Shelly Aphrodite de Silva at the time. So here she was, a prospect coming in LFC 26. Now it's LFC 36, and boom, 10 events later, she's a veteran.
Oh yeah, and it took her a little while, I think, to really get her feet under her and pick up that first win. But now that she has, there's hopefully a lot more in her future.
Now, Carmen Valentina, I will say this, a woman who's done a lot of great work, has that background. She's a scrapper, she's a fighter, done a lot of great work in the adult entertainment industry, modeling, beautiful imagery, beautiful woman. I'm curious to see how she does because I got to say, I've heard of her. I'm looking forward to see her. I look forward to meeting her, but I'm also looking forward how she goes in and coincides with Tomiko's style.
Yeah, and that's the thing with bringing in prospects for the booty camp events. Sometimes we don't know a lot about them. They either come through the LFC Madness where we might not know anything about them, or in Carmen's case, someone who from Vegas who has been wanting to join for a while, and we saw this as an opening for her, a good opponent for Tomiko. So not a lot known about her, but sometimes they surprise. And as Tomiko and Bella did way back in Bella Inc. did way back in LFC 26. 10 events from now, we might be talking about the veteran Carmen Valentina and going for her 5th straight win or something.
Exactly. And I will say this as well in regards to Tomiko. Man, Tommy Bell did an amazing friggin' drawing on her. We always praise Tommy on this shizzo, but god dang, man, he did his thing on Tomiko, and it worked. He's just such amazing, great art. Did you see the photo that Tomiko did of Tommy?
Oh, yeah, I've seen everything Tommy's done LFC related, and it's always extremely good.
And I look at it from a stance too as well. He's become an asset. There's been so many people that have become an asset with LFC. And I think from where we are going into May 13th in Las Vegas, Nevada, FSW Arena. Now I'm going to ask you, because we're back at the FSW Arena, how amazing is that just to see the fans, not just there, but people watching at home? The FSW Arena has such that prestige to it, whether it be from people like Karrion Kross, who's gone on to WWE and other auspices of wrestling. Same with LA Knight, Eli Drake has wrestling there, has LFC there, and it's become one of the latest home bases for LFC's products.
Yeah, it's we really like doing our booty camp events there because it's a it's a smaller, very intimate setting for the audience is sort of right on top of it. So we've long had a really good relationship with FSW. Some of our fighters have come out of that program. Coach Leon Hader came out of that program, still very involved with FSW. So it's a great Rocky and Joe are awesome to work with, and their students help out, and it's just it worked out really well for us to do booty camp events there.
I got to say, first and foremost, going to these arenas, going to these venues, it's going to be amazing to see what comes forward with future events from LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. And not only do we have these events, but we also have a lot of great action on the LFC network on Roku, which I want to talk about this because you guys can see this podcast on the Roku as well. You get to see the expos, you get to see a lot of events, a lot of stuff on the LFC network on Roku coming, Shaun. We are doing it up on the Roku.
Yeah, there's some really cool shows coming up. Miles Long is doing a show called Mods and Bods, which is a car show. He's an amazing photographer and an amazing mechanic. So we're kind of combining his two passions, which are shooting beautiful women and tuning fast cars. So that'll be really cool. We're working with Audrey on a really cool project. Now, it'll end up on LFC network at some point. It might be at a bigger network to start, and then we'll get the second window rights on it. But just an exceptional. I'm such a big Audrey fan. She's got such creative ideas that we're just kind of run with it, and what do you want to do? Let's do it. So yeah, there's lots going on with the Roku channel, and we're very excited for this season.
I cannot wait. I got to say, if there's anything that's Audrey's involved, expect some fun and entertaining material. And I also will say Miles Long, an amazing job as a cameraman, amazing job as a photographer with the calendar. Oh, I cannot wait for his show. I mean, two things that he loves, right? He loves the mods and the bods, models and cars. Can you really go wrong with that? I think not.
Yeah, and he came up with that title, and it's just like, okay, that's perfect. Matter of fact, there was just some, I know that a lot of newspapers were running articles about that show upcoming. And so that was exciting for us, and looking forward to see what he comes up with.
Agreed. And I will say this, the calendar, which we got to talk about this calendar. I have it with me. Beautiful photos. Healthy. The girls looked amazing in the Healthy Male, and I had the Healthy Male on here, man. Great product, great people. And I got to say, I love the fact that we got the sponsor for the calendar, and it looks amazing and gorgeous. Poolside, everybody's looking good, really rocking it, man.
Yeah, it was cool. It's the first time we've done a calendar with a sponsor. So it worked out really well. We've started doing a lot of work with Healthy Male. Matter of fact, I was just editing, a lot of the girls are shooting promo videos for them. And, we have a special deal with Healthy Male that, it's really exciting. It's a really exciting time in LFC. And we're really happy to have such an incredible company along with us. In a company that, I think, frankly, there's a lot of synergy there, Healthy Male and Lingerie Fighting Championships, very similar audiences. And so we've been doing a lot of work together. And matter of fact, I just got a shipment of some stuff we're going to be doing at the LFC 36 with them. So we'll continue that relationship and, looking forward to many years to come.
Agreed wholeheartedly on them. I got to say, whether it be a little ED action, a little bit of the fitness side of things, they provide a variety. And I think it's amazing for a lot of people that use and get the products from Healthy Male. And I mean, I got to say right now, ever since I did the show with the people from Healthy Male, I got the Healthy Male app on my phone. I got to say what an app it is, Mr. Shaun Donnelly. So if anybody has not checked out the Healthy Male app, beautiful. I feel like Bruce Almighty, Jim Carrey, beautiful,
Well, and we have a brand new site launching in the next. Well, it's already up, but it'll be launching in the next few days. And there's a link right on the front page to our own page with Healthy Male, where you can get special discounts on Healthy Male is the number one online pharmacist for men's health needs for like you said, anything from Viagra and Cialis to Propecia for hair loss. You name it, they carry it. An amazing company, great bunch of guys. they were at the last event, and we went out to dinner with them with some of our fighters, and just had a blast. And so we were very fortunate to hook up with those guys, and like I said, looking forward to doing a lot in the future.
Agreed, man. And I will say this, we got to talk about this on YouTube because I watched those bloopers. Great. Bella Inc. constantly saying fuck because she kept messing it up. Bella Inc. I'm gonna say right now, everybody was great. It was funny, just tongue twisters, if you will. But Bella Inc. was the best as far as the bloopers go. I loved her. I loved it. The bloopers are great.
Yeah, it's funny because some fighters they're great at cutting promos. They're and others that's not their strength. Some are great at interviews and but can't cut a promo if it's not. They don't like scripted. They like doing their own thing. And of course, but these are ads. These are, promos for a sponsor. So they're scripted. And there were some tongue twisters in there. And, some of the girls had more trouble than others. And then Bella Inc. had more trouble than everybody else combined.
I got to say, though, it made for entertaining content. And for those who've not seen it, check out the LFC YouTube. My God, man, it's an exciting time for LFC. Friday, May 13th for the weigh-in as well. We're going to have the weigh-ins before the event as well as always, right?
Not sure yet if we're doing weigh-ins or not. With going to the new site, there's a bit of keeping it a little simpler. This is the first live event we've done with the new webmaster on the new site. We are shutting down the current site. Will be shut down at the end of the month. So, so LFC 36 is going to be the first big thing on the new site. Which will be the new official LFC site, owned by LFC, which was not the case with the previous site.
Understood. And can you tell us where we can see the fight? What's the name of the website going to be? So for everybody,
very simple. It's www.lfcfights.com. So we went a little simpler than the Lingerie FC. So it's lfcfights.com. New webmaster Rob is doing a great job. It's an awesome design. So I think people will be very pleased with the new site.
I cannot wait. And folks, check it out once more. Friday, May 13th, LFC 36 Booty Camp 4, throwing up the 4. We got freaking, like we mentioned, Bella Rockefeller and Shaylin, Bella Madison against Sheena. We got Jenny and Jolene. We got Angelica Coe. We got so many people on this. It's going to be a hell of a time for all the LFC fans. And before we do close this out, Shaun, thank you so much, as always, for coming on and doing this thing with me. We always have a fun time. We always shoot the breeze and we do our thing. So I got to say once more, it's always a pleasure and a privilege.
I always enjoy it. And just so nobody feels left out, we missed one fight that's upcoming, and that's Bella Inc. is going to be taking on Kyla Keys. So Kyla's another, brand new prospect. Got a tough opponent in Bella Inc., but looking forward to seeing that one. Bella's always, I'm always excited to see Bella fight. So, and Kyla looks like, she might be able to give her a bit of a run for her money.
Thank you for correcting me, because we'll go back to that for a second here. Because god dang, man, Kyla Keys had her on the show. Beautiful woman, does a lot of great work in the adult entertainment industry. Beautiful imagery. One who is very much willing to learn. She's done customs, but she's really much willing to learn. And when you have a veteran like Miss Bella Inc., I think it's going to coincide and clash very well. I'm really excited to see what Kyla can do, because she looks extraordinary.
Oh yeah, beautiful, beautiful woman, and no, it's tough learning on the job like that against Bella Inc. You will learn lessons. They might be painful lessons, but you'll learn. So we'll see what happens, and I'm excited to see all the prospects, and I don't know who's going to be our prospects out of LFC Madness 4, and of course, it's a tight turnaround, 13 days. So whether we get the finalists or have to go with some runners up in that case as well, we'll see. But excited to see what who the final card is, and we know most of our matchups at this point, but there's still a little bit of tweaking going on, and of course waiting for the finish of LFC Madness 4.
Folks, LFC Madness 4 is coming down to the wire at the end of the month, like Shaun said, April 30th. Round 3 is coming up. Leon and I are going to be up to our own chicanery, some shenanigans. We'll throw some props up. We'll do our thing. I cannot wait to see who advances to the next round. Victoria Cat, Susan K, Andre Shakti, Stacey Sadistic, and so many great matchups that you could see, and go cast your votes to see who moves on to round 3. And once more, I will say this for guys, if you want to check out this podcast, you want to check out all the great LFC content, check out the LFC Network on Roku, and check out, once more, Shaun, tell everybody the new website everybody can go to check out the fight.
It's lfcfights.com.
Boom. And on that note, this concludes another edition of Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the official LFC podcast. And folks, I promise you, and I'm going to steer your line here because you say it every time we're on the show, I promise you there will be a female fighter and a female talent on the next one. You want to talk about your ugly self? See, I brought it to yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about how the views go down? I bring it back to you. I flipped the script on you, if you will, Mr. Shaun Donnelly.
Well, the views will go down, and we're okay with that. Looking forward to having you back here in Las Vegas, Mike, and hopefully we'll have a little more time to spend together. We'll look forward to it.
Absolutely will. And I will say this, my LFC ladies, I love each and every one of y'all, and I can't wait to see and meet a lot of the great talents at LFC 36 Booty Camp 4. For LFC CEO Shaun Donnelly, my name is Michael Larkin, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much, Shaun.
Thank you.
Fight, fight, fight.